Hello and welcome to Craft and Give Back. This is a monthly program where we craft a DIY donation to give back to an organization either local or in the world around us. This month, I'm really excited that we're going to be donating our final products to Operation Gratitude. They are a volunteer organization that provides care packages and supplies to military troops abroad and to first responders. I thought that was very timely. I know first responders have been working so hard to keep all of us safe. So we're going to be doing a really cool project for them and for the troops. These paracord bracelets. These are 7.5 feet of paracord that can be worn around the wrist and deployed in an emergency situation. And 7.5 feet is a very specific number that is required in these bracelets. So in your kit, you should find exactly 7.5 feet of paracord. You'll actually see that the ends have been burned down so that they are waxed and they won't come unraveled. So please don't cut your paracord any further than this. We're going to use absolutely all of it. Also in your kits, you'll find this handy dandy sheet. This is what we're going to use to measure out what we need to make our knots in our bracelets. If you haven't picked up your kit yet, they're going to be available for a week after our program date of February 28th at the Winnetka Library. You can either pick them up via curbside or you can pick them up in person at the youth desk because we are now open again. So, first thing you want to do, untie your wound paracord. Make sure it's not knotted anywhere. Kind of run your hands through it. Not too fast. You don't want to get rope burn, but just smooth it out here. And we're going to work starting with one end. I recommend if you're working right-handed, working with the left end first. If you're working left-handed, work this way. I'm working right-handed, so obviously if you see what I'm doing, flip it. So the first thing we need to do is figure out where to start our initial knot, and that's going to be 3 inches from the end. On this sheet right here, we've got a 3-inch measurement, so we'll go ahead and lay down one end at 0, and at the 3-inch, you just want to pinch it. So that's 3 inches. You want to go ahead and pinch at the end there. Next, what thing you want to do is facing you, I'm going to do it facing away from me, you're going to go ahead and create a loop. You want to make sure that the front, this kind of edge here, goes over like that so that you can see the place it crosses. So if I'm doing it towards me, it would look like that. And then what you want to do, make sure you keep pinching that 3-inch spot. So you'll cross it over, and then you'll go ahead and past the 3-inch mark, go ahead and push a loop through. So it should look like that. And then if you pull on both the loop and the edge here, pull, you should end up with a nice tight knot. So we're not done yet. You want to make sure that the edge you have left is still about 2 inches long. So that's, if I'm measuring on my finger, if you don't want to use your paper, it's about fingertip to my second knuckle here. But if I put it on my paper, it's about 2 inches. You don't want it to be any shorter than 1.5 inches. So we'll go ahead. We want to take that end, feed it through the top of the knot, and go ahead and pull tight on both ends. This should still be 1.5 inches to 2 inches long. Mine's about 1.5 inches now that I've fed it through. So there we go. There is your knot. It's nice and tight and won't come undone. That's the toughest part of this, so if you need to rewind and watch that again, totally understandable. This needs to be nice, tight, secure, and correct so that we are able to send the right bracelets to the troops. So, on your sheet of paper, we're going to measure exactly how much we need for the bracelet. See this gray dot here? That's where we're going to lay our knot, and we're going to measure it all the way to the black dot here. So I'm going to go ahead and lay my paracord down. My knot is on the gray dot. At the black dot, I'm going to go ahead and pinch it. So it should be about this much here. And then at the pinch, I'm going to fold over and pinch again. Then I'm going to take my paracord, and just under where the knot is here, I'm going to pinch and fold again. You don't want it going too much higher than the knot. So I'm pinching right below where the knot is and folding again. Then I'm going to straighten this out, pinch and fold, pinch at the end here again. So I should have the knot and what looks like 3 strings here. That's what we're going to wrap up as we make our bracelet. So I'm now going to pinch so that there's a little loop on the end where the string is coming out, as well as the string itself. And very tightly, this is key, you want them very tight. I'm going to wrap 1, and you're going to wrap over the string itself on this first one, 2, now you're wrapping over 3 strings, 3, and 4. And you want these to be super, super, super tight, these 4 wraps. Super, super tight. And you want to make sure that this loop is about 1/2 inch or so. It'll get smaller later, but you want to make sure you've got these 4 really, really tight as you wrap. Now, for the rest, we're not actually going to wrap it. We're going to twist it. So pinching this part here and holding this part between 2 fingers. So pinch, hold between 2 fingers, just rotate so that the string continues to coil around the paracord like this. So these twists should be getting more and more. You don't have to use too much strength. It should kind of naturally coil and kind of stay close together. And you'll coil all the way to the end. I'm going to try and do this pretty quickly, but this is a great place to pause and go ahead and do that coiling. And again, you want to make sure it stays pretty tight and that you don't lose your 4 tight loops up here. They should look just the same as everything else, but those 4 tight loops are really important to keeping the rest of this coil nice and neat. It's also okay if you can see that my loop here is kind of getting twisted in on itself. That's absolutely fine. So long as it doesn't become knotted, and so long as the string down here doesn't become knotted, you are okay. So twist, twist. And again, you want to make sure these are tight. It should come pretty naturally as you're twisting for them to stay tight. Now, if you're coming up on the edge, I'm not, but if you're coming up on the top loop and you've only got about 1 inch left, there's something really cool you can do, and I'm going to show you here. You can kind of shove all of the rest of the coils down just by shifting them like this, make them even tighter manually, and keep going. We don't want too much of a tail left at the end. So I'll keep coiling, keep coiling. There we go. Try not to drop your grip. If you do, it's pretty easy to start this part over, but remember that your fingers are the only thing stopping it from unraveling. So this part should be done all in one sitting. All right, I'm getting them close to the top. I still have a good foot of paracord, so I'm going to shove the coils down one more time. There we go. I made a whole bunch of extra room up here. There we go. We're starting to get somewhere. My hands are getting a little tired. Coil, coil, coil. Oh, I'm running out of room again. So I'll start down here. Notice that this loop is getting smaller. That's okay. We can always make more room there later. Keep coiling, keep coiling, keep coiling. There we go. Starting to get close to the end. Going to shove the coils down again, see how much more room I can make for myself. All right. Once you've got about a 1/2 inch coil or a 1/2 inch loop left up here, and if you can't get any more room to coil more onto your bracelet, yeah, this is about the smallest you want it to be because you still want to be able to feed something through it. So that's what I'm gonna, on my last time around, feed, and it's important to go the natural way of your coil. So don't feed it through on like an angle. So as you naturally, as this approaches the loop, just push it through. So it kind of naturally completes the coil in the loop, like that. Then what you'll want to do is, I know we were shoving everything down here, we want to shove it all back up. You can hold on to the loop for stability. We want it to be really, really tight. And that's about the longest tail we want. If you're seeing longer than that, again, keep kind of winding and shoving down there. If it is longer, it's fine. I made one that was longer earlier. It's just kind of how it goes sometimes as you're coiling. Ideally, you want it to be really short. I made one that was super short earlier too. So it can look however you need it to, so long as it's all coiled and you don't cut the paracord. So I've shoved it up so that this is a nice tight loop and that this is not going to come out. And this is back to being a nice 1/2 inch loop. Now what we want to do is close the bracelet. So taking the end that is not what you just worked with, the end that is on the knot here, you want to go ahead and feed that through your loop and get your loop over the knot. And this is why it's important to make sure that the loop you created up here is not too close to the knot, because you actually want room for your bottom loop to go all the way over the knot like this. And then from there, You stretch out your coils again so that both ends are nice and tight. There can be a little bit of spacing in the coils, that's absolutely fine. And you have a paracord bracelet. These are so important for first responders and military troops in the field. They can be used to secure parachutes. They can be used to secure things when they're on trucks. They can be used in emergency situations. These are so important, and we're creating these for them. And that's something really cool that we can do to help them. So once you are done with these, we'll take your donations back and we'll send them all as one big group donation to Operation Gratitude. So for the next month or so, you can go ahead and drop your donations off at the Youth Services Desk at Winnetka. Just let us know that it's for Craft and Give Back, and the person at the desk should go ahead and put it aside in a special bag for all of our collected donations. And then we'll go on and send them off to Operation Gratitude to be packaged up in care packages and sent out to troops and first responders all around the world. So these could go to somebody that really needs it, which is so awesome. Thank you so much for participating in our Craft and Give Back program. We love seeing the community rally together to support causes local and global. And we'll see you again next month with a really great DIY craft. Bye!